And welcome back to Pokemon Team Videos. Today's Pokemon Team video is brought to you by Atomic Beast, who suggested what is Kirito's Pokemon team from Sword Art Online, and plus all the other Sword Arts, basically, that he's a part of. And several things. A, I didn't know who Kirito was, because I'm pretty sure there are other characters who kind of have that name. But this is the main one that popped up, so I assumed this is who you were talking about. Second, I don't watch nor read Sword Art Online at all. So this is very much like I had to really look at like the character in terms of like the information available. And this is one of those series where it's like, okay, let me see what powers and abilities this guy have. It is literally designed as a freaking video game, and I'm like just rubbing my eyes like, oh god, this is gonna be so annoying to do. Oh man, if I had actually watched the series, this would not be anywhere near as difficult, but I didn't. So, this is my Pokemon team for him. If you disagree, totally fine. It's probably not even an accurate representation of him for the most part. But, that said, let's get at least one of the obvious ones out of the way. And that is that mostly, in most of the series, this character is a swordsman. In fact, I think he's almost completely a swordsman in all of them. And he can wield one sword, but he's obviously, as the picture shows, very capable of wielding two swords. In fact, that's usually what he does. So a Doublade made... It's amazing and thankful that we do have a legitimate sword Pokemon. And with an evolutionary line. So a Doublade made 100% sense right there. Okay, moving on now. This next one is actually just for more of an aesthetic appeal. Now, I didn't want something that kind of looked like, appearance-wise, him. Because there are some Pokemon that do have that kind of edgy, goth look, badass look. And he does have a good look, by the way. The character does. I like that whole design, the black coat, it's just a good look. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, maybe Gothitelle, the Gothitelle line? I'm like, nah, it doesn't really work, and it's more goth and, like, edgy. I'm like, well, how about Sneasel? Now, I could have gone Weavile, but I decided Sneasel because I like the idea of the progression of the character, because he gets stronger, levels up as the series goes on. Because he is stuck in a video game. So I like the fact that it's single stage, but then you get like the second stage Doublade, which would make sense. So I like Sneasel. This one really is more for aesthetic appearances, although the claws on its hands are sharp and do kind of look like blades, so you can definitely make that argument. Another Pokemon to have on the team, seeing as we are talking about a dual-wielding sword character, is a Scyther. Its arms are literally blades. They're literally scythes or swords. So a Scyther, I think, is a pretty good option. It is only a double or a first stage Pokemon. There's still no Scyther pre-evolution yet. Not that I ever think there will be, but if there ever is, we'll get a 3-stage evolutionary line for the Scyther. But yeah, I didn't want to go Scizor, even though it is a steel type, because Scizor is designed more after a red ant. And it's no longer has sword blade, it has almost like crab pinchers. So even though it's steel, didn't actually make as much sense as Scyther did. So in this case, I went for Scyther. Now we're in our last ones, and this one again is representing of him in his early years. Now, the reason for this is basically he was a novice. They all started at level 1 and they wielded a blade. So I went with Galarian Farfetch. Galarian Farfetch being a fighting type, its leak being used more as a sword. And obviously when it turns into Surfetch, it has both a shield and a sword. So there's that as well. And it's a single stage Pokemon. So it's a young Pokemon, small Pokemon. So this makes sense that you would have this as kind of a first stage Pokemon. And it evolves into Surfetch by basically getting critical hits at least 3 times in a fight. So this actually, to me, added up pretty well for someone who would be in a video game who needs to level up through certain means. Now, the last 2 Mon on this team. So this is where I kind of found it very difficult past like a certain point. Like all these I could kind of make a reasonable assessment for. But then after I'm like, okay, there are really no key abilities here because he's got so many different abilities, techniques and stuff that there's no real Pokemon for that. By the by, I believe Scyther can learn Detect, which is an ability that one of these Pokemon can learn Detect. I know that. I think it's either one of the bottom 3. I can't remember exactly. But Actually, I think it's Sneasel. Either way, it's that he has an ability where he can kind of sense his surroundings and kind of detect things. It even said that in the description. So I went with that for the whole detect purpose. But I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, now we're kind of struggling here. Is there anything I can do to represent anything else about him? And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I'm like, I realized the entire series takes place in a video game. Is there anything I can do to represent that? And then I'm like, well, there is a Pokemon that is a 3-stage evolution line. We have Porygon, and I went full on out, gave him Porygon Z. Now, the reason for that is, this guy gets pretty strong by the end of the series, so I figured one fully evolved Pokemon had to be on the team minimum. But then you get Porygon as a single stage. But the point is that these are all Pokemon that normally exist in cyberspace. They're man-made. They exist within a computer. So this makes sense that he could have something like this to represent the fact that basically in the series, he is nothing more than the computer avatar. And that he and everyone else is just in a program. So this makes, to me, the most sense that you could have this be the representation of the video game world. So ultimately, Doublade to represent his dual wielding skills. Scyther also represent, blades and his sword wielding skills. Farfetch to represent his early leveling single blade use, but the ability also to level up and evolve through combat and, gaining experience. Sneasel, really for an aesthetic appeal, although its claws do kind of give a blade-like appearance. Give off a blade-like appearance like a sword, so you can represent that. And then Porygon and Porygon Z to represent the cyberspace computer aspect of this character, as he is trapped in a game. So this is my team for Kirito. From Sword Art Online. Look, this is one of those teams that, except for the Doublade, I am completely fine with someone giving me a completely different team, saying like, that's not that team. You know what? Completely fair. I don't know anything. I don't know. Anything's not the right term. I don't know enough about this series to really give a comprehensive thought on this team. This is the best I can do given the limited knowledge I have. But anyway, this is my thought though. What do you think? Put in the comments below. Let me know. Till then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. Do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything to do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. And hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching. I'll see you folks next time.